We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes beyond the Walking Dead universe. I'm your host, David Camp. Wait, sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by Cosmom09 Rachel. What are you doing on your phone?
I'm trying to share that we're on right now and that people should join us, but it's not cooperating.
Well, now I feel bad.
It should not be taking too long.
Sharon, aka Blazy Gardner, and Bridget. Wait, I'll get to you, Kira. ko-fi, this takes a while. ko-fi.com/punkybrewster, that's punkybrewser. And of course, Survivors tier member, recently minted, Kira Lawrence. I don't know if I should have said your last name, but that's fine. Connie Dixon for life. That's ko-fi.com/Connie Dixon, the number 4 LYFE. Thank you all for joining us, Emily. I'm not saying hi to you, Bridget. You're right here. You're in the chat, but you're right here. And we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Dead City's 4th episode of its inaugural season, titled...
Everybody gets a prize.
What she said.
Sorry.
It was very animated.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I want a prize.
Nobody got a prize. Psst. No one actually got a prize.
Negan! No. Nobody gets a prize.
The prize was death. Oh, hi.
Rachel, hi. Hey, Takira. You're right here.
Hey, Silas.
Hey, Silas.
Oh, I was looking
Sir,
at all the
excuse me,
people who
sir.
are here
If you
now
are
that
going
are
to
saying
be on
hi in the
internet,
chat.
You need a shirt on. Go put a shirt on.
Hey, Mitchell. Thank you for being
He's
here.
just driving his way into the background.
All right.
He got Mario Kart today, and he's very excited.
Oh, well, I don't blame him.
He's getting treated.
shirt on.
He's getting treatment. He's getting a treatment. It's nice. It's very nice. Well,
I dragged him along today, and he was very well behaved, so he earned it.
that's awesome. It's great to see shirtless Silas again. It's kind of been a minute.
It's been a while.
He never, ever wears clothes.
You can't stop him, Rachel. The boy loves to be shirtless.
And more. At least in the early days. Hey, Holly330 on Instagram. How's it going?
At least he's finally wearing pants.
You didn't miss a thing. We just got started. Yeah.
On the grams. I'm not watching on the grams. I'm so bad at this.
I'll take care. I'll take care of that.
Hi.
Don't you worry. Do you want me to put it on the screen? No, it's not happening. Sorry.
No.
Why'd you even ask that?
I don't know, man. Listen, just, you know what? Sometimes I ask things that I know the right answer to. So
So weird.
where do we start from here? So we have to do some housekeeping. I know that, Bridget, I'll get to you in a minute, but I kind of just forgot some of the housekeeping that I was supposed to do. So why don't you go ahead anyway, Bridget? I know you wanted to talk about something.
I was like, what is he talking about? But now I remember.
Literally, you talked to me before the episode to say, hey, Dave, I got a thing I need to say.
Can I do this?
Can I do this? I'm like,
And
yeah,
I
of course.
already forgot.
Did you
I'm
forget
dumb.
now? Did you literally forget
I forgot now, just again, no. So, everyone, you may or may not know this, but I have a very mediocre YouTube channel. And, and I'm doing a giveaway currently on my last video. It's a unboxing of the most recent supply drop, and there are 3 months free of Amazon Plus for one lucky baby who subscribes to my channel. So do that, and then like the video, and then
Subscribe.
leave a comment so I know who you are and that you want to be entered. Anyway, there's only 5 people entered so far, so the likelihood of you winning is pretty high. Just saying. So it's Punky Brewster is my channel name.
That's right. It's youtube.com/@punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUASETER. That comes in handy sometimes.
It's spelled right there.
It's
on
my
on the
screen.
other side from me.
It'd be the other way. It'd be there, actually.
Oh,
it'd
it's
be there.
It's right there.
Because you don't do mirroring like I do. Because
I don't.
I'm a freak show, basically.
I don't. But anyway, so I will be announcing the winner for this on Friday. Maybe I'll go live. Maybe I'll do a little live.
Can you go live?
On YouTube? I can.
Wow.
On desktop only.
Well, I mean, where else would you want to go? On the phone?
I guess
your
on my phone, but that seems weird.
It's weird. I'm like an old man, not used to it. Hey,
Like
wait. How do
I'll like be up. I'll like have the camera up my chin, like old people do.
You're
Hello?
looking up. Who is this?
How do I flip the screen around?
Flip the screen around?
Staring straight up your nose.
Yeah, just up my nose.
Do I turn it around?
I'll do
or
that.
like, or it's just your forehead and the ceiling.
You mean
That's
there's
my
a front
favorite.
camera?
Yeah,
Golly,
because you're
Anyway.
just like turning
Yeah.
the camera around. the phone
Everyone
around
go
in your hand.
subscribe. I'm at 46 subscribers right now, and I would love to get to 100.
I would love
Oh
you
my God.
to get to 100 too.
I would die probably if I got to 100.
No, you'd
My
be
friends are
Again.
fine.
famous.
You'd be fine.
100 is famous.
100 famous.
Oh wow, your standards
Well,
are very low.
Speaking of followers,
Can I have your autograph?
I've given
Hi.
it out.
Hi.
It's so weird.
Bridget, you'd be like,
Anthony.
"Why? Why do you want my? Why?
We're live on
Go
YouTube.
away!"
Do you want to
It's
be on the internet?
literally what I said.
Oh my gosh! Look at Chris. You're live.
Everyone's joining our
You're
live stream
live on the
tonight.
internet, Chris. Just you should tell her
Look
that.
at all the guest stars
Who
tonight.
knows? I told her. Hi, everybody. Higgs, did you want to get in on
Hello.
this too? Hi.
Why not? Why not?
Are you drunk? No. Oh, okay. It had to be asked.
Your mom's haircut looks cute.
Looks really good.
Huh. Sassy. I'm gonna say thank you for her since I did
Since
it.
she did it. Thank you.
Primo. It's primo.
It's choice, as
her.
Dave would say.
Oh, that's Kara.
Mitchell says this is actually a
Kara.
secret Jackbox
Hi.
game stream. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it?
Can you make sure you come back to the camp next year?
Takira wants you to come back to camp next year. And like maybe actually hang out with us this time.
No pressure. Tell her no pressure.
You think I'm fun?
Well, we know that. But
Where do you think I get it from?
doesn't change the fact that
I'm
she.
boring. I'm boring. You'll have to be pulling her off the tables.
So, speaking of followers, I'm sorry to change the subject. We have to.
David's like, screw you, mom.
Yeah, screw you, mom.
Leaving.
Well, we got to say this because this is something that
that's
we have to
fine.
get out here. Is that, well, we're currently around hovering right around. I think it's about 835 subscribers on YouTube. And one of the things that we wanted to do, and we've mentioned it in the last
5
few.
subscribers.
Excuse me,
We have 5.
835.
Oh, okay.
We're
I
for
heard
the last
that
few
way
years.
wrong.
So
I'm like, there's no way that's
we've
right.
been talking about the Robin Overton telethon that we're planning on doing to pay for Robin's, the TWD, the black and white guy on Instagram, his cancer treatment. Because it's basically the one major thing that he needs right now. He's being treated right now, and he's looking okay so far. Haven't seen a check-in from him in a little bit, but regardless, he needs a little help. And so, the big thing that we need right out front, and we're gonna start talking to people to spread the word about this, is that one of the things that we've constantly been doing is we've been trying to up our game in terms of the charity game, and we do our best with the Jackbox charity live streams and the 200, a whole bunch of things that we've been doing for the last few years. And one of the biggest pain points is that we don't have quite enough followers on YouTube to get the reach that we need. Now, when we do go live, we do usually simulcast on our fellow host channels to spread the word even more on their Facebook pages, or not pages, profile pages, Twitter, etc. But it's not enough. So the big takeaway here is if you're watching, or if you know somebody who would like to watch stuff like this, it might be a great idea. It would be really helpful for us, for at least for the charity, so that when we go live for 8 hours on this telethon, that there are people that we can reach that have deeper pockets, not even deep pockets, a little bit over time, like little feed the birds over 8 hours, that helps a lot. So if you could spread the word to subscribe to Squawking Dead's YouTube channel, that would be great. It's youtube.com/squawkingdead. I'm not going to spell it because I'm going to get it wrong. But if you're watching on YouTube right now, just copy and paste the link or share this video even. It'll point to our channel at some point. But we do need the subscribers. It would be great if you can get us to cross at least 1,000. We're only 150 or so away from that. So what are you waiting for? I mean, well, not now. Now you can. Let's do the things. Okay, let's do the things with the podcast and the breakdown. And so what we're gonna do right now is talk about this episode. I think, right? At some point, I'm going to say, oh, hey, go to the merch store and pick up our new art and logo designs based on the Walking Dead Dead City. It kind of looks like this logo right here, the Squawking Dead City. That's the logo design. And then there's a manhole cover for the art design with the Squawking Dead City logo, sort of like that, the New York City sewer. Anyway, first impressions. And since Takira is on here for the first time, we're going to pressure her ass to give us her first impressions. Now, when you talk to me about this, you're like, oh, I had to get the Survivors tier membership because I need to talk about this episode. I think I know what you meant, but now you can say it for yourself. What's your overall impression about this episode in general?
This is my favorite episode of the series so far.
And why is that?
I honestly couldn't figure out, like, I couldn't pinpoint one reason why it was my favorite, but I always love, like, when shit's about to go down and you kind of feel the tension and you just know, like, okay, it's gonna be some tears by the end of this episode and some screaming by the end of this episode. So that's kind of like what I felt the episode was gonna be. And then the action and the Croat.
You mean this?
Not that one. Not that one.
We'll get there. Because once I get there, I'm not going to be able to stop getting there.
David,
That's
can we
what
turn
she
Kira up
said.
a little?
we try too early. It's the best we're going to be able to do. So
Oh,
Yeah, I'm so
shoot.
sorry.
All
I
right.
said I was gonna make an effort to talk a little bit louder.
Just
Um,
scream at us.
yeah, actually,
I don't know, like, if you want me to just jump around, but one big thing I wanted to talk about was that Jenny just wanted to curse Maggie out for the whole entire episode. Like, if she actually spoke, that's probably what she would have been doing. It was written all over her face.
so she would have a comic book bubble with all the symbols.
Yes.
Well, what do you think she would say? Like, I noticed that what you're noticing, but like up until the end, right? I mean, do we agree at least at the end part, it seemed as though she was on board with Maggie?
Yeah.
Okay. But in the meantime, what do you think is going on in her mind throughout the episode? I know we'll go back to your first impressions, ladies. Don't worry. But
I very much think, I don't know which one of you talked about it before, but how when she got to New Hilltop, wherever that may be, that they were doing fine, that there was no stress, no, like, oh my God, how are we gonna eat? Like, everybody was fine, and it was contradictory to Maggie's story about what happened. And I think the way Maggie came at Negan in the first place made her not trust her from the very beginning. So she may have been looking for reasons to not trust her, but Maggie gave her plenty of them.
on top of the burning of the doll, most likely it seems.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I wanted to say that.
We-
I'm
we-
pretty sure she
We
burned
don't
it.
shy away from killing kids on Fear the Walking Dead, but we shy away from showing a burning doll. We draw limits.
It's a dinosaur, Dave.
But it's a doll. It's a doll.
It's not a doll. It's a stuffed
mean-
animal.
The plushie.
I
right?
have
Isn't that
language barrier,
calling out?
okay?
I kept calling it a
The
stuffy.
the dino plushie.
Yeah.
It's a plushie, a stuffy, a lovey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry.
That's my takeaway.
for the
just so
save.
you know.
For the save.
That's my takeaway. Is
Yeah,
that
that was the best part of the episode. And, but for so many reasons, like, I feel like that meant one of two things. He either felt like, okay, my brother lost everything and now, like, I can help him. I can be like all he has left or something like that. Or perhaps he wanted to, like, maim him a little bit and then say, okay, now I welcome you. Either way, he was super happy to see Negan.
And none of that happened at all. Right.
Right.
None of that expectation. Let's take a beat back because I know Walking Dead Eternal had asked, and we should clear this up. What are you holding in your lap, Kira?
I'm holding my Connie doll made by Blazy Gardner's mom. And I just love that she has the ponytail. I wanted her to look like she did from on the inside. So remember, she had like the little vest thing on. Yep. And always her like this was my favorite thing. I like
We'll
have
describe it for
it
the audio
saw this
podcast
little
too.
bracelet. Oh yeah, sorry, the bracelet. The bracelet that she has on is my favorite thing. And the fact that her hair is in a curly ponytail, like she really paid attention to details. And I have Virgil's knife that she used during the episode.
That's totally cool. Which also Rachel has the same one behind her, leading up to one of the things that I wanted to say as part of our housekeeping, which was reminding everybody that you can get your own doll of your choosing. You know, there's a limit, but let's find out where that limit is by heading over to ko-fi.com/BlazyGardner0150. That's BLAZYGARDENER 0150.
Yes.
Did I say it right? Good. All right. /commissions, but hit
Or right, or you can
Just DM you.
DM me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. Um, the only real restrictions are like she can't do intricate designs. Like if there's writing on the shirt or intricate designs on shirts and stuff, she can't do that. She can't do like plaid. But just about anything else is a go. So if you have somebody you want, message me and I'll let you know if we can do it or not.
Oh, and Thomas. Okay, so Thomas asks, "Has Lauren seen the doll?" And you should. Has Lauren Ridloff seen the Connie doll, Takira, just yet?
So I did post it on. I mean, I posted it absolutely everywhere, but when I posted it on Twitter, I tagged Lauren Ridloff. Hoping that she could see it somehow.
Right. Fingers crossed. And Walking Dead Eternal says Connie is one of my favorite characters. So.
Mine.
Maybe
Oh,
maybe
and Takira
maybe
says I
Thomas,
posted
maybe
on Twitter
Thomas
and
can
tagged
help us
Lauren
out with
Ridloff.
that. Yeah. Maybe Thomas can help us out with that.
Well, Thomas asks, can
And
they be
forward
anatomically
it.
correct?
I mean, if you really want it that way, sure.
I think her mom's cool like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna. Thomas, I'm being serious right now. Actually, if you want it to be anatomically correct, you're gonna have to shell out a little bit more because that's a lot more pieces, a lot of intricate pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Depending
I mean,
on
it depends
Well,
on
I mean-
what you're talking about.
Right.
I mean,
you
two
know,
boobs
more yarn. Maybe not so much more yarn. I don't know. You just have to find out.
the little tiny bit of stuffing.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the episode, ladies. What was your impression of this episode, Rachel? Since you just watched it, it's kind of fresh in your mind. You poor.
I
poor
did.
Ginny.
I did just watch it. It was really good. Yeah, I agree with Takira. Like this episode definitely felt like a ramp up, right? Like that shot from outside the building when we just the build up, like the build up throughout the episode was really, really well done. Seeing the candle, you know, they were lighting the candle, and I'm just like, ooh, what is this candle? Like, is it a romantic dinner? Is this a trap? Is it like, so who's setting the mood? And then, you know, we find out what it's for, and then we get that we get that scene from outside, and I just was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And then immediately thought, okay, but who told him? Like, this was obvious. Like, he knew someone told him that they were coming. Who was it? We lost a lot of red shirts this episode too. I was like, oh, bye red shirt. Oh,
but like
red
real red shirts, not Annie Smith.
But
Meaning, like,
in the
unnamed
last
people.
episode, it might have been the last episode, or it might have been this one. But they also said we need to get a move on before he figures out that we're coming. So do they know that somebody is leaking something, or
right.
do they just?
Tommaso said it again this episode. Like every hour, or like the more time we wait is, you know, more time for him to figure it out. Like, how would he figure it out unless someone's telling him? Like,
Does
how?
he have spies?
Well, they've seen Negan. Well,
Right.
so the Burazzi down below that got the blood shower. You know, they would say, "Oh, that's Negan." Oh, because he heard that that was Negan at the bank. That's your handiwork, Negan. You know, that's so. Every hour that goes by, he's preparing more and more for their arrival. Let's say that's kind of the gist of it. And Thomas says the marshal told him, but that's regardless. The marshal telling him just gives
The marshal's not.
the Croat more inside information.
But the marshal didn't know their plan either.
No.
Like he knew Negan was on the island, but he didn't know what their plan was going to be.
Right.
And the best part of that is that plays out. Like everybody thinks that the Croat, oh, he's out to get him, and like no, when he hears that Negan's there, you think it's gonna go one way. Maybe we all. I in the back of my mind, I'm like, but what if he does? What if he doesn't want to kill him? I always thought that in the
And
back
he-
of my mind.
And he timed it out. Like it was timed out perfectly. Like that video, the countdown, like it was timed out like too perfect. It was too perfect.
Well, because I think he had it down right, like a symphony. He's like, okay, we have 5 minutes to do da 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 and da da da, and then get the GTFO, a la GTA.
Okay, I wanted to kind of ask a question. Do you think it's kind of like just these two groups, which is like either the Croat and his people or the rebels, and pretty much if you're not in one, you're in the other? So if they see movement, they can kind of, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out like how would he possibly know if he literally didn't have someone listening in?
Like, are there other groups on Manhattan that aren't part of these two factions?
Right.
That's a
That is
good
a
way of
good
You
looking
would
at it.
think. You would think there would be.
Yeah, I mean, it would
Or
encourage you
has the
though,
Croat killed everyone that has not
Right.
joined him?
Right.
or has absorbed everybody who. Well, he was just talking to
Mhm.
the young lady that was at the console, talking about how to put in a CD player. You've never seen a
Yeah.
CD player before. So then, but she talks about taking over this firehouse, and she was smart enough to put her weapons down. So that's an example of like the people he would absorb, let's say, into his colony or his sanctuary, right? Adapt or die.
I'm also
Oh, and you remember what Tommaso said in previous episodes? He said he's been going around Manhattan and telling people to join or die, basically, and they decided not to.
Yeah.
No, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm glad that Tommaso got a little dose of Morgan's anti-Walker stank.
But at least he had guts on him.
His death stench. His death
his
stench.
death
Activated
stench,
death
activate.
stench. I wonder if he got bitten.
That's what I was going to ask. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
I think he did.
I
I
think,
think
I
it's
think
possible.
so.
and he would ignore it as long as possible to save his wife. So
Mhm.
He's gonna wait until they're down in the methane-filled sewers to die and turn when everybody's all drugged out.
Turn into fuel, essentially. Seth on Instagram says, "What rebels? This is just a few survivors left on the island. That don't work for the Crow. Whack." Yeah, I guess. Well, if it is just the tribes people and they've all slimmed down to like basically what happens on The Walking Dead, I think usually is like, oh, all the lesser known, sometimes background characters, like a la season 6 and 7. Like all of a sudden they start slimming down, and you're left with like, oh, we're just left with our core players. Okay. Oh, now there's some new background actors to kill off over the next few seasons, over time.
I was sad to lose the collector. I know she wasn't there that long, but
Oh,
the-
I think her name
the
was
actress-
Riza on the
I
show.
like the actress a lot.
It's Aisha Kendrick.
Yeah. Kendrick.
Is it Kendrick or Canuck? Anyway,
I think it's
she's Canadian. Aisha Canadian.
Remember on Lost when they were getting thin on red shirt people, so they brought on these two people that just appeared out of nowhere that were there the whole time, but we never saw them until like season 3. And it was Nick and Paola, and they were so hated. Everybody hated them so much that they ended up like buried up to their necks in sand, and they got killed off finally. Because everybody was like, "What? These people just showed up out of nowhere." They've been on the island for 3 seasons, and this is the first time we've seen them like step up into the forefront. Yeah, it was terrible. But anyway, Nikki and Paola.
I wanna hit on something that Shauna said in the chat, because you kind of brought it up as somebody feeding information to the Croat, etc. Now Shauna says, let me see what she says, and then I'll go into something that I thought of, and it's not fully formed, but I want to see if it flies. I don't know what it means necessarily. I'm not saying drawing any conclusion, but Shauna says, do you think Negan possibly agreed secretly with the Croat's decision, but for the better of his group, he had to get rid of the Croat, and the Croat understood that? I don't really understand what that means, but when
She's saying, do you think that Negan agreed with the Croat torturing that little girl to get information.
I don't know. Everything in his
The
face.
look, the look on Negan's face said no. He was
Oh
not
yeah.
going along with that at all.
Right.
And that girl looked a whole lot like Ginny.
Right. In
Yes.
age
Yeah.
and in
Yeah.
Which
ethnicity.
which maybe Ginny is the spy. Maybe Ginny is who's feeding information.
Oh,
And
we're going on that one.
her looking a whole lot like the little girl that was killed would support my theory. That's why the Croat would use
Okay, I
someone who
did.
looks just like her.
I did listen to another podcast this morning because I just wanted to kind of feel out some other people's theories on what was happening.
Anyone worth mentioning? Or is it just
I listened to, well, it used to be Walking Dead,
cast?
the Walking Dead cast, but it is now the Cast
Podcasting.
of Us.
Oh.
They changed it when they covered Last of Us, but anyways, Podcastica's umbrella. Jason is not doing this season because he really hates Negan. So some other Podcastica people have taken over.
Wait, hold on.
And-
What does he
mean-
like?
I don't know. Anyway,
Tell me, Jason. Tell me in the comments.
okay. So so the theory that they had was, and I don't know if I agree with this. I just thought it was interesting. They thought that maybe one of the men that Negan killed to like be excommunicated from New Babylon was possibly Ginny's dad. That was their theory, and that Ginny maybe secretly does not trust him and actually is there for like revenge. I don't know that I agree with that theory,
I had a theory when
but
I
it's
was
interesting.
doing the first blog for the first episode, because we're late in coming with the blogs, and we've had some publishing issues, especially with the one I just released, the one for the second episode last night, but I got dinged. And usually I go for a manual review and it comes back up right away, but this time it's been almost a day. But one of the theories I thought of was that it goes off as something that Sharon D said in that episode, and that was, what if they confused Ginny's dad for Negan? And they did the punishment thing, and that was the horrific thing that made her go mute. And Negan feels responsible for that because he was on that farm with her and her father. And so they must have confused him for her father. And so he's like, okay, it's my fault that this happened, and I have to take responsibility. But I kind of want to go on this theory. I don't have a theory that's fully formed, but I do remember one thing, and that's Negan asks Maggie for the matches. And regardless of what happens after that, we know she finds the beeswax. And he goes, don't act like you haven't done anything yet you have to apologize for. Now wait, why was the beeswax in his bag? Because he killed Luther at the end of the last episode, right? What was used to light up the candle on the drum or drums?
A lighter.
Specifically,
A Zippo lighter.
a Zippo, right? What was the totem that Luther used at the dinner table when he was remembering who it was that he was remembering?
Somebody had a Zippo lighter. Was it,
It was
him?
yeah.
Luther.
I thought yeah, it was Luther. I thought.
Okay, now who has Luther's stuff? I don't like
That's
this.
weird.
I don't like
Well, he
this.
has his. How can Negan be in two places at once, though?
No, he was running around and he was just trailing after Maggie. And
Well,
she
he was playing cat and mouse with the Croat during this time.
right, but for some reason Maggie got to the garage first and had to,
Why would Negan blow up the doors
Listen,
and let the dead in?
again, I don't know. I don't have a theory. I just know that Negan has Luther. See, one of the things I like about these shows is the use of misdirection. You're busy looking at the one thing, the beeswax, while you're missing the fact that what was used for the candle but a Zippo, right? And so I was just thinking to myself, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why this is. I just want you guys to have it in the back of your mind that that exists and that Luther did have a Zippo, right? So
Well, Thomas says it's the worst theory ever.
I don't have a theory.
So
I don't
you know.
I don't know what it means, but I think it's important to kind of drop. So
I feel like because the fans easily guessed the storyline of the show because it really could have only gone one way. that maybe they really want to confuse the hell out of us until that final moment where we realize what's going on.
That's kind of what I was thinking. In the realm of that, like, what if Negan were to do this? What's his end game? Is he trying to take credit for rescuing Herschel? Like, maybe be the hero? Like, force his hand to be? It's not unusual for him to sort of maybe do that. But again, it's not a fully formed theory. But when I saw it,
He also doesn't know where Herschel is at. So he could be dooming Herschel.
sorry,
Maybe
wait,
he
what?
lied.
Oh, Allah.
He doesn't know where Herschel is.
Okay, right. And so he wants
If
to.
you think his end game is to rescue Herschel, he needs to know where he is before he just floods the building with walkers.
Which he, right. And so that's the thing. That's what didn't make sense. It's like, why would he do that? Does he think that Maggie
Or-
would hold her own? And the crew, does he not care? You know, Maggie could get out, but these people, oh, they're toast. They can't handle themselves or something. Like, he's underestimating them just as much as Luther underestimated him. I don't know, but maybe it's just something to keep in mind as we keep watching. Keep it back here, way back here. And then when something pops up, you can say, hey, Dave, you're right again about something that you weren't really sure of at all.
Or he completely
Emily's like,
lied.
Emily's very confused.
what's the point you're trying to make? I don't know. I don't know. I just noticed that Luther had that Zippo in the episode where they were eating together and humming. It was one of the totems that he had that he put. First of all, he raised it up so that everybody could see it. The audience could see it. Be like, okay, hey, remember this. And so what's being used to light the
everyone
candle?
did that with their item.
Not as dramatic as Luther, because he was in the light, so you'd pay attention. I'm being facetious, okay, but I don't know what point I'm trying to make, Emily. I'm just saying it might be important to keep in mind.
Okay,
And
what
Thomas says it's already gone. Oh, just went back and
Negan lied.
just add his brain pooper.
about his family being alive,
Wait, say that again.
or he could have either one lied about his family actually being alive, or he lied about where they are, and the Croat actually has them, and maybe he's playing Maggie somehow.
Negan's playing Maggie somehow,
Yeah.
so it's like they're both trying to play each other, but really the Croat's in charge.
Exactly. Yes.
Bridget's like, please, you're hurting my brain. Stop talking about this.
I'm done, you guys. I'm done.
All I wanted to do was drop that. And
If you like what you heard,
wow.
Yeah. Bye. Good night, folks.
Okay.
So, methane is flammable. So, how wise is it to be setting off big fires in a building full of flammable gas?
Not wise at all.
Not at all.
I mean, unless you're in alternative fuels and he's aware of the pitfalls and whatever, I'm okay with it. I'll allow it. I accept the fact that he's pretty smart when it comes to handling volatile gases and liquid gases. But what do you guys think?
who? Croat?
Nah, Negan.
Negan?
Sorry.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about.
The Croat.
I'm
That's-
leaving.
For our
I'm
audio
leaving. I'm
listeners,
done.
please be
Bye.
more-
That's what Sharon was saying. Is it smart to explode methane, especially when the streets are
Yeah,
filled
but
with it?
You're saying that Negan is setting these things off, so now I'm like so confused. Like
Just
who you're talking?
get that out of your head. Just get it out of your head. Get that out
What's
of your head.
happening? Who am I? What year is it?
This is all that's going on in Rachel's head right now. Because I've put it in her head.
All right, that's like 7 times. I think you're
But I only did the buraz one twice. Okay, anyway.
okay.
So, Shauna says something big has to happen for our main characters. What? Well,
Thomas says he thinks his living room has some volatile gas in it right now. Thank God none of us are there. You know what I mean?
Fart
I'm glad
jokes.
you're farting in peace.
wait, Thomas, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me address what he said before, though. Oh my God, they both had Zippos. Where could they have gotten them? Oh, yeah, every freaking bodega. No, but why would he ask for his matches if he had a Zippo? Doesn't make sense. No?
But he
Bridget-
asked for his matches before the candle was lit. What are you talking about, bruh?
So?
I'm done. I'm done.
Why would he
I'm done
bother
with this
asking
theory.
for matches
I'm
if he had a
done with this
Zippo?
theory.
He didn't.
You just said he
doesn't.
stole the Zippo. You nut
Wait,
job.
but wait.
What's happening?
Here's the thing. He's asking for the matches because he doesn't want. Are you done with your fit? Of course he's hiding the fact that he has the beeswax. Of course he would want to hide the fact that he has the Zippo because what? Why would he have Luther's stuff? But he realizes because he doesn't have the matches, he's forced to use the Zippo on the drum. You're lost. You're done.
No, it's no, just like a hard pass. Hard pass.
All right. That's fine. What happened? You all shut down after I thought
Hard
of this
pass.
thing.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
I'm not saying it's him. I'm just saying it might be. But for all intents and purposes, we're supposed to believe that it's the Croat. So let's operate on the fact that it's the Croat. He's a genius. That effect on the candle and the drum, that was pretty fucking sick. Are we all
That was awesome.
in agreement?
It was awesome, but it was perfectly timed because Maggie is obviously selling Negan out to the Croat, like very clearly. But anyway, moving on.
Well, let's go to the moment where Maggie does decide to go after Ginny rather than Herschel. She has that moment where she's fuck these tribes people. I don't have my mission is Herschel, so she ends up staying with the tribes people, even though she has an opening, and additionally save Ginny. She says to herself, "I'm better than Negan. I'm not going to trade one child for the other, even though it's my child." So I have to kind of go to Rachel. What do you think about this decision? As the resident breeder, but you're also a breeder, Takira.
Hold on.
Oh, Takira, why don't you say how this made you feel?
Sorry. There are things happening. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. No, you've abdicated. Takira, you first, and now Rachel.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Thomas is distracting me. What is this?
Welcome to the fucking club. Here's the thing, folks.
Thomas
Okay.
says, "Wait,
No,
Dave is saying Negan physically lit the wick? That's the dumbest idea ever. Rating for this podcast, 0 stars. Would not recommend."
No eggplants.
Here's the thing.
No eggplants.
You guys are terrible. You've massive ADHD. Just at least wait until like somebody finishes a thought before interrupting.
What?
Yeah, that would be helpful. Hey, at least we received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Takira, how did it make you feel to see Maggie go for Ginny rather than go for Herschel in that moment?
I felt like she better had gone for Ginny. Like,
I'm looking right at Rachel right now.
I mean, I know the kid should have stayed in New Hilltop, but you just gonna leave her to her own devices in the middle of kind of a war?
Yup.
Were you mad, Rachel, when that happened?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't mad, but she like turned back.
I
She turned
was
back.
because you just fucked up the whole plan. They just said,
Yeah.
"Don't mess up the plan," and you see this dumb kid who is where she should not be, and you go and fuck up the plan. And now look, you're down in the stinky methane gas fluids, fucking sewers with the stupid kid, and now you're both gonna die.
With the stupid
Well,
kid.
I
Who
don't
she
look-
thinks is a
if it were
spy,
me-
so of course it's stupid.
I'd have looked at Ginny and been like, all right, she's like in this cage thing. She's good. Just shut the door. She's good. I'm going to get my kid.
It's like a
Fuck
latchkey
this,
kid.
fuck this dumb little girl. I
Welcome-
didn't ask her to be there. I
Welcome
didn't
to the
drag her
70s
along.
and 80s.
Nobody invited you to this party. Go. Be gone.
I burnt your doll.
I'm
Didn't you
getting
get the
my kid.
message?
There's also a part of my brain feeling like Herschel's not even there. So I guess maybe that's also
He's probably
what
not.
that's what I was thinking about.
Well-
Like, Herschel's not even there, so you need to just
I don't think he
go
is.
save Ginny.
And what the Croat said, like in addition to Maggie not knowing where he is, but like the Croat said something. Well, that's a little bit more complicated. Getting Herschel, it requires a conversation.
We need a
Come,
conversation.
Come.
Yeah.
So they want us to feel like Herschel's dead. but I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't think
I'm
he's
not buying it.
dead.
I don't
But
think he is either.
now
But
that-
that's what they
now
want
that
us to
it's-
feel like.
If it takes a conversation, blah blah blah, maybe there is another faction on the island, and the Croat has given Herschel to them.
Ew, for what? For what? Ew, like. What?
Oh my God! Your mind is
Oh,
automatically
I
going
just-
to gross places. Wow.
No,
I
I
just
mean,
assume
if,
I'm
you know,
talking about
if you look at like Native American tribes, they would trade prisoners around, right? They would exchange prisoners, make it more difficult to find the prisoner, etc. They know where they are. You know, I mean, it could be something like that.
So are we saying like another bad group of bad people?
It looks like
like-
that's on the
Yeah.
horizon.
I mean, it would
actually.
have to be like a lateral move, right? Like Croat's not giving him to a group of people that would protect him. I mean, he's evil, so it would have to be a group equally as terrible as his own.
Or it could be somebody higher
Mhm.
up than him, too. Maybe there's somebody
Well,
above him.
I just assumed that they got people out of that building before they blew up the doors.
Yeah,
And they
me
moved
too.
them to a different location.
Which is exactly what
That's
Negan
where
said.
Herschel
That's what I
is.
was thinking.
Yeah,
like,
Negan had
that's
said that
my
in last,
assumption.
Negan had said that in the last episode too. He said he wouldn't keep them on site after that incident where you escaped. He would keep them off site. So which is kind of weird because, well, maybe he doesn't think maybe he doesn't think the Croat would refer to Herschel as the same status as Tommaso, too. So maybe he thought that's why he might still be there. Does that make sense, what I just said? Like Herschel might
mean-
still be there, but any other prisoners might not be there anymore.
I just think he's not there. Even
don't
if
think
they
he would
were there, they wouldn't be there till the very last second, is what I'm saying. Like, even if they were holding him there, they still would have moved him before this cockamamie plan with the doors.
Right.
They wouldn't be like, oh, it's the last second. Quick, get everyone out of the building. We're all going to die. Like, that's stupid.
Guys, we would have seen Herschel light the match. I'm kidding. Stupid. I'm just tacitly commenting against the chat right now, who's saying, "Oh, the beer bottle balloon lit the wick."
The
and
chat's wild right now.
Ginny with the lick, with the
Like,
lick,
it's out
lick
of
the, with the.
control.
I'm just
Lick the wick.
ignoring it at this point. The chat has gotten too wild.
Yeah. Well,
Like
and
Thomas.
Shauna says
that-
maybe he has been training Herschel to kill Negan, so he can't see him first. I don't know. See, it seems like a bit of a stretch for what we don't know now, but it is something
ever
we had
Maggie
mentioned. What is it? Go ahead. You might as well.
Walking Dead Eternal said bringing back Simon in a flashback I wasn't a fan of. Walking Dead Eternal. Do you not like Simon?
It's a well, I mean, you don't have to like Simon, but
Well, I mean, I love Simon. I mean, not really. I love Stephen Hawke, but it's fine.
Yes.
He was so good at playing Simon, though. And
Yeah.
Simon was so easy to hate. Like, he was just the worst.
well, and you saw examples of
He was
that
awful.
even in this performance. And he doesn't reach that status obviously until much later, but he says things like, "I'm not that kind of guy." You know, I'm not going to say "I told you so," Neegs. But you know, I'm not
Neegs,
that
yeah.
kind of guy. Of course, maybe you can invest more in somebody. You know, someone's like not unlike me, which was about to say. But
I just love the irony of him giving so much crap to the Croat for not listening to what Negan says when that's exactly what gets him added to the wall that Negan is designing at the very beginning.
yeah, the walk
Later
wall.
on.
But you know what? Being more specific, him like getting in the Croat's face and saying kids is a line we do not cross. And in the episode Warning Signs in episode 903, we find out that's exactly what he did at the Oceanside. He, on top of killing all the men, he didn't limit it to just men, adult men. He killed a little boy, or at least maybe a few, who knows, but at least one that we know of, which was Beatrice's brother, was it? I think it was. Right? She killed both Arat, basically, I think it was. And before, Justin, right? The guy who's played by from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What was his name?
Yeah.
You always seem to know it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Oh my gosh. I did know his name.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
can't think of it now.
But yeah, he was killed in the, or he reanimates at the beginning of that episode, and then Arat is the one who gets it at the end of that episode. And the whole point of that was the destruction of Oceanside, basically. He says to no excuses. He says no, right? No excuses. He says to the boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? The easiest thing to do is not to look at the chat anymore.
The chat is wilding out.
How?
I
Oh,
can't
it's easy.
handle it.
I look
No
at
way
you
to
guys.
not
I look
look
at you
at it.
guys. I look at you guys. It's easy.
Awesome. Every time I see it go bing, bing.
Does it make a
I have
noise?
to look. No, but I can see
your
it in
brain's-
my peripheral.
Peripheral.
And I can't help it. Like I know there's words and I have to read them.
Well, why don't you start? Let's go ahead, Rachel. You got this.
There's so many. There's so
Oh, so
many.
there's so many.
So many.
Rachel says,
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Okay. Shauna says maybe the Croat has been training Herschel to kill Negan,
"Oh yeah, I said that earlier."
so he can't see. Oh, did you? Where the fuck have I been?
Okay,
Probably reading more.
Emily says, "I
more
feel like
things.
TWD is trying to rewrite history at times. I felt like in the scene with Simon, but killing kids to give the idea that the Saviors used to be a nice place that wasn't cruel." I don't disagree with you, but something that I had said either in the last episode or the one beforehand was that I think it may be true. Actually, Carl himself says in season 8, "When did this get away from you?" Meaning, I believe you when you say that you did all this to save people, but at some point you had to keep doing things. And there's examples of this. Obviously, when Simon does the thing that Negan doesn't want him to do, with the Oceanside, with the Heapsters, Negan himself ends up doing those things, which is why I said, even though the Croat ended up torturing that person, he didn't torturing the young lady, and he didn't want him to do it. At some point, he learned that lesson. Maybe not with kids, but with adults. Ironing the face, throwing the first doctor, what's his name? Carson into the furnace. Like, okay, the iron wasn't enough. Throw him in the furnace. And then at the end of the day, when Simon killed the Heapsters, and he didn't know that Jadis was the only survivor, and he ends up saying, well, just one isn't enough with you people. It's time to kill all of you at Hilltop. And he had a perfect plan to kind of draw everybody, get everybody's defenses down so that he could kill everybody at the Hilltop. It's over for them. So it's like it kept to do the things he wanted to do, he had to maintain his power. And the only way to maintain his power was to do more and more heinous things. So it's not, I guess maybe you could see that point as kind of retconning Negan. Not really, though, but maybe they just kept doing that. Or they keep using these examples of how he had to keep doing more and more heinous shit. And, like, maybe at some point he would have killed kids. Maybe that would be that final bit of, well, okay, that's the worst. He's the worst. Right? So, I don't know, it's just a thought. But he might have, had he kept going down his path. Do you think that maybe, because I was thinking when he trained his sights on the Croat, I was thinking, oh, he could just shoot him right now. Maybe not like in a vital spot, but he could just shoot him and get the info that he needs from Herschel. Torture the Croat just like he would torture anybody, that the Croat would torture anybody else. Like, why do you think he just stands there? He's not really even saying anything to him.
Well, the Croat would have a good 3 seconds to dodge out of the way because that thing's slow as shit. So, I mean, he'd be taking a risk firing.
Do you think it would show his hand? It would be too risky. It would show his hand.
It's a toilet snake, Dave, not a
Yeah.
not a gun.
But it's a gas-powered toilet snake. It would shoot down the drain really fast.
Or it'd be like, it's coming after me, and then step to the side slowly and still get out of the way. So
Heather's like, you guys are so spicy today.
Earlier,
Hi, Heather.
he tells Maggie that he's afraid what he's going to hear is a song that he doesn't want to hear anymore. So I think why he's not saying anything is he just wants to hear what song the Croat's going to sing to him. Is it something he expects or is it something different? And when I think it's a little bit different than what he expected,
Like the not killing him part?
right?
Yeah.
He just didn't know what he was just like. Okay, let me see what this guy's going to say. Not let me see what he has to say. Like he's not ready to like break bread or compromise with him or anything, but let me hear what he's gonna say.
Give him room to kind of show his hand, basically, right? So there's something that on first watch I noticed that I kind of rewrote later on. The way he treats the girl in the console room. Oh, there's a cat flying everywhere. Anyway, wow, talk about ADHD. In my first
That
watch,
was more distracting than the chat.
in my first watch, I noticed the way he was treating that girl, the one he saved savior from the fire station, from the barbarians. And he was really gentle with her, and I really liked seeing that. And I walked away on my first watch saying, oh, maybe he's changed in some way. And Bridget's like, oh no, he's a pervert, also a
He's
pedophile.
a total creep.
And anyway,
Such a skeeve.
so wait,
Ugh.
now that's not confirmed, but that's not what I want to say. Okay, you could walk away seeing that and saying, okay, fine, maybe he's moved somewhat on this child torture thing. However, it doesn't really dawn on you right away. I don't know. It didn't dawn on me. So let me speak for myself. When Negan and Maggie run across that young man that is in the chair that just reanimated with Negan when Negan touched him, he was just executed. He is pretty young. He's like a child's age. He was tortured and then his throat was slit. So you're watching this like, oh no, he really hasn't changed. He still is. He would still go to that level if he felt like he had to. So I guess the question is really, do you think that the Croat has changed in any way? No, he's a
If
pervert.
anything, he's probably gotten worse
Yeah.
because there's been no one to restrain him or restrict him in any way. So he's just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse.
And now he's the top dog. You know, he's feeling the power.
I just want to give Lauren Cohan props for that scene because, oh my God, for that instant when she just don't know and she doesn't know, and after Negan grabs the head and lifts it up and she sees it's not him, the look that she gives, like this, she can't even let it be relief yet. It's just stunned staring, and she looks at Negan and like the look is just, oh my God, it was amazing. So props to Lauren Cohan for that scene because that was incredible.
Because
Incredible
That took me-
acting.
because
That
in the
took me
same
back to
breath,
season 4 when in the school bus when we
With
all
Glenn.
thought Glenn bit it. Oh my God, the 7th Glenn death fake out.
I was trying to think of myself like, how many times has he almost bit it?
Yeah.
It's like, who killed
or
Kenny?
we thought
Who killed
like
Glenny?
he almost died, or we thought he died, like
Yeah.
13 times throughout the season before it actually happened. Yeah. God, fuck. Now Thomas is not going to shut up about it. Okay, but yeah, that scene took me back to her on the bus too when she had a similar reaction.
You know, it's interesting when you see in that reaction, it's kind of a simultaneous one that, oh my God, it's not him, but also, oh my God, it could be too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this could happen at any time and I won't know about it and I'll discover it too late. Maybe like similar to this. That's some chops. Oh, actually, Bridget, it would be choice. Sorry. I should have said that. My bad. Some choice
I hate
acting.
you. Hate you.
I love you.
Can I just say that the Croat literally gave that girl a piece of candy at the end? So the creepiness level is so high.
It's
The
extreme.
anti John. It's like
Yeah.
the
Anti
John.
John Dory from Fear the Walking
It's
Dead.
not like here's a blackjack, I'm a nice guy. It's like, here's a piece of candy, little girl. Like,
Ew.
it's so creepy. Ooh.
I like when he's like, you don't have any reason to be afraid of me. Like, holy shit.
I thought he was pretty gentle, I think, in that scene.
No.
It really it really coaxed me into this. I get what you're saying because he was kind of looming over her a little bit, and I don't know. Listen, it's probably a language
No,
barrier.
he literally jumped at her when he said, "You don't have to be afraid of me." Like it
Not how I read it.
It's because he is mentally unstable. So like every action
I
is
see what you're
so
saying.
unpredictable. It's why like he sees Negan and the normal reaction would be, I'm going to hurt you, or I'm angry at you, I need revenge, like you shot off my ear. Instead he says,
neGAAAAN!
Which is just like, oh, one, it's the best line of the entire episode is the neGAAAAN. It's so good.
I just
Anyway,
did it, but
so
that was
good.
loud.
Don't take it away from me, Dave. Shut it.
First of all,
Anyway.
Genuinely
Emily's
happy
like
to
giving
see
it to
him.
me right now. She says, "Dave, you cannot be FFR after after being perceived as we can't be BFFs right now after being perceived as gentle."
BFFR.
Respectfully, she says. Actually,
No, it's B freaking for real.
oh,
Oh.
I don't speak Youngin.
I didn't know what BFFR
So
meant
AF.
either.
Do kids say?
Anyway.
Do kids say lit?
Oh, I know that one.
Respectfully, I do. I know
No,
that one too.
AF.
I know respectfully.
No, yes, I know respectfully.
I don't know how to be, but sorry.
I think Croat's genuinely excited to see Negan. Not because he wants him to like help him in any way. I think he is like, oh, I get to tie you to a chair and torture you now. I'm so excited.
Oh, I didn't
think
think
it's
it was
that?
that. I thought it
I
was
do.
I thought it was like okay, so Eli Journet talked about this a little bit in the episode or Insider. He said that even though the Croat is clearly older than Negan, he's like Negan's child
Yeah.
because Negan like brought him in and helped pull him out of like his depression. And I think of it as like it's almost like Dave mentioned this earlier when we were talking about the clip. Like that he was like a little brother. It's like this weird need for approval.
Yeah, am I doing
And
it
so-
right this time? Maybe not.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah, that's how it felt. Like, don't worry, you lost the sanctuary. It's okay. I made you a new one.
This is yours.
Like,
This is
it's just-
ours.
It's like it's just yeah, it's weird.
Well, and look, he kept the family business. He calls it a sanctuary to many people. So why wouldn't he accept him with open arms? And Mitchell says he was excited to see Negan because he misses him sexually. But you didn't hear it from me. Literally, I'm saying it, Mitchell. I'm saying
Chewed
that
on
you
that a
said
while.
that. That's at I found them Rick G on Twitter. Go DM
Just
him.
threw him under the bus, like, fully.
He said it publicly
Huge
on the.
call-out.
Listen, lesson learned. Don't say anything publicly on the internet if you don't want it to bite you in the ass. Young people, AF, lit.
Ew. Oh my god. I feel like I'm old on me now. I'm just kidding. I am old. Anyway, I'm gonna act like I'm not, but anyway. Emily says that Croat has daddy issues for real, and I just cannot. I can't agree more with that. Like, as a professional in the art of having daddy issues, he does for sure.
It's kind of weird, right? Because he was a father. It's this weird, like maybe like a regression, like kind of like that. This weird, because you know how some people like want to they break and they want to be dress up like infants in diapers and bibs.
I
and
don't want to
onesies.
talk about this.
Fuck.
I don't want to
Have
talk
you heard about this?
I don't. Yes, I don't want to talk about this,
we don't.
Dave.
It's more of a
don't
sexual
need to
thing,
go
though.
there.
Anyway, so this is gross.
Please step away. Step away.
I feel like I think I've overplayed my hand.
I have a little
This is
bit of a
weird.
thought
This is
process
off the
going.
rails tonight.
Takira, what you got?
What if he kidnapped Herschel to somehow lure Negan to the island? Like, he did the whistle when he got to Maggie's place. He would have recognized the widow, right? Or no?
He did call her the widow. So
Right.
We don't. Okay, so I thought about this a lot actually because like we don't know if this Croat thing is happening. Like, does he stay with them until they find Alexandria,
Right.
or does he leave before?
No.
We don't.
It was before.
Because his dealings with
so
the
like
kingdom
that's
were
what I
beforehand.
assumed, right? That he left before. So he hears all of that information, which like what a story hour Jerome from the Saviors has, because he tells him all of this stuff about the war. but he must have written a novel about it because he gave him so many details that he knows who the widow is. And like,
Right.
I was just, yeah, it was.
Well, maybe he tortured him for the info.
Well, but if you're getting, I mean, the saviors that left would have that. If after the war was over, the saviors that left would have all that information, though.
Yeah,
They would know about the widow, and they would know about Rick and all that. And the widow was a big figure, right? Because she's part of the reason this is being fought, right? I mean, so I can see how they would know all that kind of stuff. Especially if Jerome is an ex savior who
Yes.
now I was watching I don't remember which one it was, so I'm not gonna say I was watching anything, but Jerome is a character in the comics,
Right.
and
I
he is a Commonwealth soldier. Yeah.
Right.
So maybe he's a savior who went to the Commonwealth and he ran into the Croat and said, "Hey, let me tell you what happened after you left. It fell. This is why."
Let me tell you what happened after I left.
Let me tell you what happened.
fell.
It's a long story.
See you
you're gonna
later.
wanna sit down. Want to sit down. Let me introduce all of the
Maggie
16
Nate.
players so that you know who everyone is.
Well, I mean,
and then here's
but
Negan's.
It would only be
But
the
is
two
it-
extra
nicknames for them.
players, right? So
is it a long story to someone telling it from the outside though? Like for the saviors, they weren't privy to all the intricacies. It was like we fought this battle and we lost. That's it.
yeah. Well, and so it's also you're right. Like
And
so,
these were the three people.
the only two other players, extra players, would be Alexandria and the Hilltop, because they already know about the kingdom. They had the arrangement with the kingdom for trading, basically taking half your shit, and they had that for a long time, it seems. And so these two entering the fray, well, and also and then I guess eventually, did the Croat know about Hilltop? I don't think so just yet, but eventually
He said,
They
he
were-
said Hilltop and then Alexandria.
but through
But the
Jerome.
way he said Alexandria was like he expected Negan to be surprised that he knew about Alexandria. You know, like Alexandria. Yeah.
I mean, they were
Never
trading
saw
with Hilltop before they were trading with Alexandria. I mean, we can only assume that it had been happening for a while.
But it could be pre.
I say trading. They were taking.
Right, I kept thinking that too.
Sorry. They
Well,
were
here,
taking
you give
from
us your
Hilltop.
stuff, and we, in turn, don't kill you.
We give you protection.
We give you protection. You're part of our community.
And I'm not talking about condoms.
We're not going to that conversation again after the second episode. Okay, so what else? I actually wanted to go on the heels of what you'd said, Sharon, about how Maggie was saying something when he was talking to him about. Sorry, when Negan was talking to Maggie about not feeling okay and that it would be an echo, seeing the crowd would be an echo of something that I don't recognize anymore, or I don't, whatever. She says something to the effect of, she gives us the story of Amos, right? Amos, the harmonica player that used to live above her. At first, I didn't know what she was trying to say to Negan until I really stopped, replayed it a couple times, just to kind of figure it out. And what she basically means with the story. So basically, just to recap the story, Herschel's just born, trying to have him sleep through the night, but Amos is playing at his harmonica at night and keeping Herschel up. Yeah, it's waking him up, etc. And what she decides to do at some point is that when he goes on a run or like some sort of scavenging, whatever it is, she goes into his place, takes a harmonica, buries it, and that's the end of it, right? And no, it's not the harmonica that lit the wick. And anyway, so why is that story important? What she's basically saying to Negan is, you know, she had kindly told Amos beforehand, please, I'm trying to put Herschel to sleep. It would be really great if you could not do that at night. And he did it anyway. So she's saying to Negan, you told him not to, and he did it anyway. You probably told him again, and he did it anyway. And then you tried to put him down, and he ran away, and he continued doing this shit while you're away. Whatever you did, even from the first time you told him not to do it, that's on him. He chose not to listen, and so therefore the consequences are on him. So it's the same with Amos. I told you not to do it. and this is what happens. And she's basically saying you would have buried it somewhere deeper or else, or in a body part, let's say.
So she's telling Negan to bury the Croat in dirt.
Well,
Yes.
more or less, yes, but also,
Yes.
but she was trying to say, whatever you're going through right now, that's not on you. Because she had said in the second episode, second episode, she had said, oh, so this is a monster you created. So it's on you. And he said, well, he'd gone through the horrific shit. He was trying to say that it wasn't him. But that's obviously stuck with him. Right? It's like, the closer I get to this, I'm getting closer to a part of me that I don't want to get closer to. That part that I don't want to associate with anymore. And yet he's Neganing, right? In the
I heard
third episode.
I heard that story, and what I heard was Maggie say, "Handle your shit."
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt about it. Also, can we all agree that there is no way that Maggie asked nicely for him to stop playing his harmonica?
No way.
There is
No.
no way it was nice.
You know, she pounded on the door and was like, "Cut it out!"
Yeah.
And he was
She
like,
just-
"Okay, okay."
She
And then he
doesn't have
just
that
didn't.
approach anymore. She's not that kind of person.
Especially if
After
you're
losing
trying to get
Glenn?
your kid to sleep through the night and you're already on edge, you're not sleeping, the baby's not sleeping. No, you're not asking nicely.
Are you guys projecting?
Fuck that harmonica.
But
No, I love harmonica. I'm a big Blues Traveler fan, so.
are you a big Blues Traveler fan at 3 a.m? Let's say.
Sure, if I'm loaded.
If I'm loaded.
But not with a
Negan!
the harmonica. Gets to be real annoying.
And Amos was no John Popper, you know what I mean?
I was going to sing it, and I'm not going to. It's not happening. But it's in your head now.
I'm not mad. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, Thomas says maybe Wendell lit the fuse. God only knows. Oh, wait, I don't
Okay.
think that's the same skin color. Anyway,
Rachel, were you the one who was like, I bet Negan stole Luther's beeswax? Because I feel like it was you. And when it
Was it me?
happened, I was so elated.
oh,
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, I did say that.
yes, he stole it.
he's not doing anything with it. It's like, oh, let's respectfully bury it with Luther. Ooh.
I knew somebody was gonna find that beeswax, but I didn't know who it was gonna be. And like Maggie does this slick ass, like she's got the matches in her hand, and then she sees the beeswax and like whoop does a little switcheroo where she drops the matches in there and takes the beeswax.
I thought that was pretty slick, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those who didn't catch it, Maggie's saying, quote unquote, buried it in the fucking ground. Was so icon of her. Mitchell says, glad to hear get an F-bomb. Yeah, it's quite a few. Thomas says, that's it. John Popper lit the fuse because of the harmonica story. Oh, the heart will bring you back. No, he didn't say that. I said that. No, Thomas, you've gone too far. You can't invoke the name of Billy Joel. Anyway. Okay. I honestly don't have too many notes on this episode, to be fair. And Rachel, you barely got through a watch this episode.
Yeah, I watched it once. Like it's just I have no notes. I have no I mean yeah, I had to pause it a few times. Like I'm not been on my A game this series.
Well, you've had a lot.
I have a couple
on your
things.
plate. Let's start with one.
The lurker walkers in the subway.
Asheron Part 1.
So when... Okay.
You're thinking the bonus episodes of...
No.
Oh, no.
The
It
episode
reminded
when they
me-
go down into the National Guard and all the walkers are sleeping
Asheron
and
Part
they're
1.
trying to tiptoe around them.
That's Asheron Part 1.
Episode 1 of
Yeah.
season 11.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
That was Asheron Part 1.
Okay.
Was it? Okay.
Wait, well, you made me think it was
Sorry.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said
But
the
when Dave-
bonus
I couldn't
episodes,
remember
and
it.
I thought
No,
it was
yeah, I
was
just-
in season
I
10C,
pictured
and I was like,
part 2.
no.
One more features lurkers as well in the field. When
When they throw
Aaron,
the
alarm
they
clock.
throw the alarm clock
Yeah.
out in the field.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's not
yeah.
because you can't
Yeah.
see them. If you can't see them, they're not there. They're not officially
No, it-
lurkers. No.
It
like,
reminded
they
me
were-
very much of the National Guard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
it did me too. It
half
did me too.
asleep. Why didn't they just like slowly puncture the brain, like all nice and quiet, like? Because all it would take is one little slip, one little trip to wake them up, and somebody's fucked in the leg.
I think it's because it was super dark too. I don't think you'd want a
I
chance.
mean, you could see them.
Well, also if you did that, you'd have all of them coming your way too. Kind of like
Not
actual-
if you did it quietly, like quietly go in the soft part, like just like
Lay him down quiet.
that's true. We all know
Yeah.
how well it works out when you're trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
So,
I-
so here's another. Thomas, you can shut up because you're not gonna like this. But here's another link in the spy theory because Ginny did not follow them. Ginny had to follow them into the tunnels, right? Which means she had to go through that by herself because she wasn't with them when they went through the tunnels. So does she know another way to get in? Because when they see her again, she's in the sanctuary. So does she have another way to get in? How did she get in when they couldn't? Because the only other way is for her to go through it the way that they did by herself in the dark.
Right. It looks like she did follow them because when they went down to the subway tunnels, she had followed them from behind a one of those rolling gates in front of a storefront. So she went around and she went down. She must have gone down the tunnels too, right after them.
But did they show her going down? They didn't show her going down in the tunnels.
I thought they show her at least
They
go down the
didn't.
stairs. No.
They showed her moving behind the gate to like come out.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll take it.
Here's an interesting little detail too. The
Charity and me are both-
railings, the railings around the subway have spikes on them. They've put spikes all around the railings that go down to the subway, like on the wall. So like if you're walking by and there's a walker there, look, you could like smash its head down on the wall and there's spikes all along the side of it.
Oh,
And they weren't built in, like they weren't built there. Somebody put them there.
Oh, you know what? Emily had said, I'm salty that we haven't seen much variance this season. There is sort of an indication in this episode that there are variants because some of them are actually climbing up the fence. Or at least we're kind of...
I was waiting for them to start climbing, and none of them did.
There were two of them grabbing onto the fence. I don't know if they're
Well,
pulling
grabbing
them.
and climbing are two different.
Well, they don't
Yeah, I
really
was waiting
grab.
for them to climb.
They don't really grab. They kind of just do a push
We've
thing.
seen them like hook through.
Well,
the
those are
fence
just
before.
actors that are doing a bad job. Well,
Someone said-
they're grabbing above them too, not like at outward. They're grabbing up, so as if they're about to pull themselves up. Yeah, Emily, they did. I'll show you. You know what?
Wait.
We'll split
Takira's
the.
trying to talk,
Oh,
but
okay.
nobody can hear.
All right, we'll split the difference, and I'll put an image in the blog. But yeah, go ahead.
Someone in one of my Facebook groups said that they saw walkers trying to climb up the elevator shaft after Maggie and Negan.
I did not see that, and I was about to
Oh, in
say
the
that
first episode?
in the second episode.
Or second episode.
Yeah.
Second. Okay, yeah. Second.
So I thought that too.
Oh,
and
when
I-
they were chasing us.
Chasing
Esther?
Esther.
Right. When Maggie and Negan were going
Okay.
up the ladder in the elevator shaft,
Okay.
I thought, well, where are these walkers coming from? But that was stupid because they're all in the buildings. But I thought that was going to happen as well. But I didn't bring it up because I'm like, you don't see it, so you don't really know. They're already. It's kind of like what Rachel was trying to say. It's like, well, how did they get there? How are they falling from the buildings? No, they were already in the buildings. There are millions upon millions of people in Manhattan. So on the day shit went down. So it's possible that they were on the floor that they were in. So I mean, did any of you see walkers going up the ladders? No, right?
I didn't.
No, but I did see a few walkers grabbing a part of the fence around the arena. I saw them grab upwards, not forwards. So, which means okay, they're in a climbing stance, in essence, and also like raised up. So they had not lifted themselves up, but they were angling to go up. So it's not very clear, but it is a subtle. Either that or somebody did bad background acting. I don't know, but it's there. So for you to pick up on, I'll put in the blog. And Mitchell says there isn't really any variance, but it feels like the walkers were slower this episode. Agree. Heather says,
There was also
Heather-
a theory about variants popping up in certain areas because of something about the France researchers or doctors or whatever they were. I'm in like three groups, so I'm always reading all kinds of weird theories. But does anyone remember where the woman said they went and why she was expecting them to be back in France?
You mean Dr. Jenner? The other Dr. Jenner?
The woman that he was talking to
Wait, no, who's talking to whom in this scenario? Sorry.
in
Hi,
France.
Elisa.
I mean, the recording.
Oh,
The woman that was watching the recording in France
okay.
told the other guy, she was saying that, oh, they went to, I forgot what state she said that they went to, but
Primrose.
she was hoping that they had made it back to France, basically.
Oh.
Wasn't this the
I
Primrose
thought it was
group?
Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio.
Wasn't
That's
this
what I was
Ohio?
thinking. Maybe it was Ohio.
Ohio Primrose group. This is like what they were dropping
Yeah.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big search. But hi, Lisa. Sorry. Takira was talking.
Sorry.
Was waiting till she was done. Why are you sorry? Apologize. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you for my picture today, Elisa.
Yeah. Tell her. Why don't you tell everybody else who didn't watch your video what Elisa did for you?
Elisa bought the original June drawing that fan art Lindy did, and sent it to me. Hold on. All right, it's behind me in my drawer, behind my curtain. I can't get it, but it's the
I'll drop it in the blog.
Blue Jay June drawing that Linda did. Elisa bought the original for me and sent it to me.
All the season
So
six.
thank you, Elisa.
Season 8.
Season 8,
Right.
yeah.
Um,
Badass June, savage ass June.
I have to say on my end, and it's showing this on YouTube. On my end, your video, just like Bridget's video is usually slow. Now yours is, Sharon D. So even if you put it up right now, nobody would be able to see it. They'll see it much later now.
Oh.
It'll catch up at some point though. So sorry everybody, but at least you can hear her. That's the important part. God only knows. And she does face red heart shape. That's what we see. This is probably the heart. So there you go.
Oh,
With a face
Elisa
on
owns
it.
a Zippo. She must have lit the fuse.
I thought it was a walker. Thomas, you're just wild with theories
Elisa
today.
started the fire. It was always burning since the world returned.
It was Walker, Billy Joel.
Elisa started the fire.
Well, she did. No, okay. No. Don't complete the sentence. And then she goes, boom. I love you too, Elisa. But I think Sharon D loves you way more now. So it's a contest. And she's,
Wow. It's
Sharon
a
D's-
contest.
Sharon D's
That's
winning.
weird.
I wish I could beat her now. I just can't. I mean, not physically. I mean, like in the contest. I think it's also sad that with
Everybody's a winner in the contest of love.
especially when it involves Lisa. But I think what's interesting about Maggie choosing to fight with the tribes people is that by the end of it, like it's just this weird, sad feeling that I get. Like for all her loyalty to these people, you know, that little gesture of sticking around for Ginny and these people, that they all end up dying, and really kind of like they didn't have to. In the end, it makes Luther really right about not going to this place. So it's what do you think do you think this is going to come back and bite Maggie in the ass in a sense? I mean, they're doing this.
I mean,
all doing this for her.
Who's left to be mad at her?
Well,
Everybody's fucking dead.
Well, I mean, when I say not like, that was stupid of us to do and you suck. No, not that.
Are you saying like karma?
There might be
Karma's gonna get her?
more like grave consequences. Like they might do something as a result of this too. You know, Tommaso and Amaya.
And what I'm saying is who? Okay, Tommaso's Walker
gonna be
bait.
a
Like he's
walker.
already dead.
You think he's already been
Yeah,
bitten?
he's
Okay.
already dead.
Well, that answers that
He's
question
already
for
dead.
you.
So really, it's going to come down to like Maggie versus what's her-
Amaya?
Amaya. I'm going to say
Amaya.
Amaya.
Yeah, it's Maya,
Maggie
but,
versus Amaya.
Yeah.
Amaya. Yeah.
Do
Sorry.
you find-
I mean,
do you
Maggie's got
find-
plot armor? So Amaya's gone.
Do you find yourself strangely attracted to Tommaso, Rachel?
That's the clear indicator if he's dead or not.
I mean,
He said he wanted kids. He wanted
I
kids
mean-
for Walker babies.
He's a real babe.
Ew. I mean, he ain't too hard on the eyes.
Not at all. God, I get lost in those. These like green eyes and stuff. It's like, whoa, what is this chiseled face and this
He's
prominent
kind of
chin?
cheesy though.
Yeah, I don't, well, listen, it's
He's
my
like
it's my personal
super
preference.
cheesy.
What do you think, Bridget?
Emily, I do not agree with that.
Say it.
She says Maggie and Amaya are destined to become girlfriends at this point.
Well, that's kind of
I
why I said
mean-
what I said, because I was kind of like, how is she going to feel towards Maggie by the end of this?
I like that better than the hate bang, so I'll root for that, Emily. I'm up for it.
No.
Maggie
At
and
least,
Amaya.
at least just like, nah.
Hate bang.
Maggie and Amaya.
Oh.
Get
Well, that's
it, girl.
that is kind of another
Get
hate
it.
bang, I guess, because
Yeah, they can hate bang all they want.
think about okay, like imagine they find
I
out
don't
that
want any hate bangs.
so much anger in our sexual relationships, but like, I mean, Amaya's gonna find out, maybe even from Maggie, that Negan killed Luther, and that they already had reacted this big reaction about Esther dying too, and some of the others that were killed by the Barazzi. So it's like, it's important to keep in mind for the next episode, because how is this all gonna play out? But and Shauna says he's a pretty face, but that's kind of where it ends. Oh, he's dumb as rocks is what I'm putting words in her mouth.
I
what Shauna's saying.
disagree. I disagree.
Me too.
He's the total package. Anyway.
No, let's
I
linger
don't
on
know.
that point
I
awkwardly.
feel really strongly about him right now. I really like
After
Tommaso,
coming back,
and
right?
I screamed when he like disappeared. I was like,
Yeah.
in my notes it just says not Tommaso. Like I was just so angry. And so maybe he is bit, but I really hope not, because it's so rare that we get like love stories that like last. You know, everybody's always freaking dying. So I would really like if this one would last,
Well-
especially after the conversation about having kids and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling him, so he might be safe.
Shauna,
Just
how
saying.
dare you? Shauna just said it's okay to be wrong, Bridget. The sass.
It's okay.
I did that first of all for Shauna, because she's right, but also for Elisa, who just said neGAAAAN.
I did have one thing I want to mention about the Croat, and it's that he has his Barazzi speaking Croatian, or at least understanding enough Croatian to be able to understand him when he gives them commands
Like kreni.
in it.
Yeah.
Because those two guys in the garage, when he keeps those two behind in the parking garage to be searching for Negan, he gives them like a full sentence of like instruction in Croatian,
he?
and I was like, "Oh,
He did?
I didn't see that.
interesting."
Did you translate
I
it?
heard we have a guest.
No, I
Search.
didn't translate it, but I thought it was interesting that he was speaking to them. It reminded me of Jadis's advice in World Beyond,
Create your own language.
that if you give your people a language,
It
like
binds.
that's how you connect them.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a really interesting concept, that he took his home language and gave that language to his people,
And
and
they
that's
have
how he's connecting.
and they
them.
have a sort of, I'm gonna dare to say it, like that sort of, oh, we're kind of dressed in sort of a, wow, I can't even say this right. They're kind of like they're dressing like what I would think would be Croatians, maybe, especially the dude with the neck beard and the ponytail. That
Where's
was
Mario?
That was a lot.
Yeah, I need an expert on this.
Yeah, so I dared to say it, and if anything, they look kind of like mafioso, like the trench coats and it's just weird. And then of course, like the spiky biker helmets.
But do they have cling flame on them?
They have clink flame and they have helmets. Now I can't say it
So
wrong.
I've been watching a lot of The Office, and when you said that about language, Bridget, it made me think of why say many word when few
If you
word do.
Why say many word when fewer do? Exactly.
I love Kevin so much.
Yeah, I do too.
So he's everybody's spirit animal. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Let's go to Marshall Armstrong. How he kind of turns the tables. Obviously, Negan saves him, and you'd think a little bit of gratitude, but no, he goes right to what his punishment is supposed to be. Negan's punishment is supposed to be. I don't envision this lasting very long, but of course there's going to be a painful part where we're going to have to go through the back and forth of how that's going to go down. How did you feel? How did you guys feel when that happened?
I was so mad.
He's a dick.
I was so mad. Like,
Second best line of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
You're a dick.
You're a dick.
Yeah.
The best line being, "I'm not going to play it again." Negan!
Negan.
I mean, come on. Props to Željko Ivanek. I finally memorized his fucking name. Željko Ivanek. Željko Ivanek. So there we go. I mean, he's
I
okay.
need them to like do something with this dude.
Let's do that. But what do you think of his acting so far? He is a little over the top, kind of like somebody we used to know or still know, like Negan. What have you thought of his acting so far? You can criticize it, I think. There's a part where I was kind of like, is this too much? Are we putting on
No,
a bad guy
it's
routine?
I think he's playing the part.
It's
Okay.
perfect.
I think
Yeah.
people like him are kind of supposed to be a little over the top.
Maybe he learned from the best, because the best don't mess. Negan. I know I felt like saying that.
Who in your
We're
opinion
ta-
is the best? You
I-
need to clarify.
I'm sorry, but he does
According to
not
him.
have the same. He is not nearly as charismatic or entertaining as Negan.
But you could see
He's
what
not
he's
charismatic
He's
at all.
he's like Wish Negan.
or like the Woot or Wish Negan. On
Walmart
sale,
Negan.
reduced to 20%. He's in the clearance
Got Negan
bin.
from Temu.
But obviously he's taking cues, right? So, well, you would agree to that, right? That he's
Yeah,
been taking cues from his brother.
He's like, yeah, the cult of personality thing.
And it's working too. He's managed to get these people to dress up in trench coats. So there's that. And also grow neck beards. That shit.
No, don't blame that on the Croat. Okay, as much as I think he's a
No.
creep, he didn't force that guy to
Personal
grow a
choice.
neck beard and simultaneously.
What if that
a
was his
rat tail.
punishment? What if that was his punishment?
It's one or the other, guy. It's
some-
one or the
He's been working
other.
on that.
Somebody was punishing that
working on that
actor.
rat tail
I want to know
for a
who to blame. I want to know who to blame for
Speaking-
this. Because
If we're gonna talk about hairstyles, I had the same complaint on the main show, and I had the same complaint on Fear. Ladies, put your frickin' hair up. When Ginny came out of like whatever place she was in, and she's got that long hair and it's all like frizzed out and dirty, and I'm like, why do you not have your hair up? How easy is it for a walker to reach out and grab your hair and jerk your ass back? Put your hair up, ladies. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. This is not a fashion show. This is survival. Nobody cares what you look like.
look at Maggie.
You're
Look
gonna
at Maggie.
die.
Does
Look,
no one?
Maggie has short hair.
Does no one have sensory issues in the Walking Dead universe? Because like my hair felt, I put too much product in today. It felt so greasy. It was up on top of my head all day because I could not stand the feeling of it.
Some of us don't.
Can
have
you
that.
imagine? Like
I-
my hair would be greasy just permanently.
I mean, I even felt that way about June and Blue Jay. Put your hair up, June, like she did when she was cutting the fingers off. But put it up the rest of the time too. There's walkers out here. They could grab you by the hair, and then you're screwed. Put your hair up.
June don't care. June flare out her hair. That's just what's happening.
It's like either their hair is down or they have horrible haircuts.
Yeah.
that big ponytail. Arr! Like,
It's like one or the other.
I like Maggie's hair though. Like I'm down
Maggie's
with
hair is great, but I'm just haircut from Fear and
Yeah.
and Jadis.
Which
immediately-
Jadis? Because they're both pretty bad.
I'm sorry,
Oh my
Anne.
God.
Anne
I think
Stokes.
either iteration is more ridiculous than the next. It's fine.
not
It's
great.
fine. It's fine.
Either way, it's not great.
When we think about hair that needs to be up, immediately Judith, Lori,
Mm.
Lydia, and Rosita come to mind.
And Carol later on, because Carol's got that long gray hair that she just
Oh,
lets
yeah.
flow out. Come on, Carol. I get
know
it,
what?
but come on, put it up. You don't have to
As
cut
mu-
it. Just
As much as everyone bashed Andrea, the girl always had her hair up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
there's that.
So another thing
I was watching
go ahead.
I was watching season 2 today because it's streaming on AMC Plus Live. season 2 today, and I had to watch Andrea and Lori. It was like
Ugh.
it was the scene when they're arguing about Beth, and I'm like, who am I supposed to be pulling for here? Because I don't know.
But
who I
aren't they
agree. I
just
don't
like
agree.
us on this show, like criticizing other people? Like they're just you hate in them what you hate in yourself.
Oh no.
Like, I completely agree. Like, all the ladies with the long hair, they need to put it up. But have we ever actually seen a walker grab anyone by the hair?
Yes, in Fear. Charlie
Charlie.
had her hair. Charlie had her
In a
hair gripped,
ponytail.
and
She had it pulled back in a ponytail, and it got.
but she didn't have it. She didn't have it up.
She
You
didn't have
to
it like
up,
Princess
in a
Leia with
bun.
buns.
Yeah.
One person.
The one example is the one who did sort of the right thing. Just, you never know when you're gonna go, guys. You never know.
Also, I love that
was
we're
terrible
all
and awesome.
just watching the AMC Plus Walking Dead Universe channel constantly in our homes now.
I don't have time for that. Sorry, but I am
wish I
jealous.
did.
I'm jealous. I'm totally
It's
They
what I
just
put on to go
started-
to bed.
They just started the main show over again. So today was season 2. Tomorrow will be season 3. And they each day they play the season for the whole day. So like you can watch it twice for the most
Oh.
part.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Dave,
tomorrow will be season 3.
whether you watch it or not, it just needs to be on.
Yeah, you just have to turn it on. I turn it on for the soothing sounds of zombies so I can go to bed.
Nah, not for me.
That's my
I
sound.
wish there
That's
was
my sound machine.
Someone needs to just make a disc. I'm old.
You mean a compact
of,
disc?
like Walker sounds. A CD
disc.
of Walker sounds.
I got you covered. That's fine. It's like a white noise machine. It's a white walker.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
but
I
it's
need.
It's a white walker
And
machine,
then
right, Blaze? Sharon?
And then I feel like Beta, who falls asleep to the Walker sound, to this Walker singing.
Yes.
And the occasional
the
pamphlet.
soothing song
Doodaloo, doodaloo. Anyway,
makes me want to go to bed right now.
actually, it would be kind of like, it would be like,
Right? I'm tired. It would be.
It's kinda like a white noise.
noise.
Yeah.
It makes Rachel want to go to bed too. Dead sounds.
but like, wink, 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 go to bed, wink.
A whole sea of the dead. No.
Oh. So check out Rachel's Tinder profile. No,
Ew.
apply only if you've deceased. So if you've moved on.
It's hard to swipe when you're dead.
Like it's a walker. So it
Also,
goes,
she said deceased, just to clarify
Not
that for
diseased.
anybody. Any diseased?
Rachel, you're a terrible walker. What is that?
Before I forget,
That was me using the phone.
You didn't think of doing like a T-Rexy kind of thing, like a this.
You're gonna have to yell. You're gonna have to
Anyway,
yell
whatever.
to Kara if you want to be
No.
annoying.
Sorry, Zakira, go ahead.
wait, okay, let me put the microphone by my face and see if that works. Okay, before I forget,
There you go. That's a lot better, actually.
anyone who's not winning Bridget's gift card, go sign up for AMC Plus on Prime. It's half price for 2 months.
Well, thank you for that. I'm gonna put that in the blog.
For
Hopefully, I
Prime,
can.
for Prime, it's only for Prime days, which is today and tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so it won't be out in the blog by then.
So don't put it in the blog.
Save
It's
some
over.
time.
I got stars. I got stars for 99 cents for 2 months, so I could watch
Me
Outlander.
too.
Oh, and from is MGM Plus
Ooh,
on
I'm
that?
gonna do that.
Is MGM Plus
What?
on there?
I don't remember. The only one that was, there were 2 ones I didn't recognize. Like I didn't recognize the channels, but Stars was 99 cents for 2 months, and then the other ones were like half off of AMC Plus, and I don't remember the other one. I don't think MG. I think Paramount was the other one.
I already have
Paramount Plus was the other one.
that. I already have that.
And Max.
Well, see, I want to watch From, like
Yeah.
Eliza suggested in our Discord. Yeah, because I've
What's
been.
it on?
What's
It's on MGM Plus, which was formerly something else.
I don't have that.
Anyway.
I
Then
also
you have to-
canceled my Netflix because of their nonsense. So
Just get my.
I haven't had
Family
Netflix.
Cinema.
Sorry, Takira, what were you
Um,
saying? Hold on.
Just get my family cinema.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Or you could use the site that I've been using for like 10 years that has everything.
you can't create a new account, Sharon D.
What?
Remember, I tried to create an account and they wouldn't. There was no
Rachel,
option to.
didn't you have the same problem when you signed up, Rachel?
I don't think so.
Maybe you have to message them because there's a place where you could message the admins.
Oh, maybe.
But But anyway, it's called tvhome.cc, and I've been using them for like 10 years, and it's not subscription. And they have everything.
Are we suggesting that they do things that are sort of like not on the up and up? Just want to make sure.
No,
No, you
I'm
have
not
to pay
suggesting
for
that at all.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pay site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what are you laughing at, Rachel?
And My Family Cinema is a pay site as well.
Okay. I actually wanted to mention one thing before we forgot, and that was God, I was gonna call him Slavic. I don't know why, but the Croat had said something. He slid in something as he was arguing with Simon, which I just loved it. He said something to the effect of the hidden arms cache at Hilltop, meaning there was a relationship with Hilltop at some point. So at least we've established that, and Alexandria was the new player essentially. So I thought that was kind of a cool little exchange. And then he brings it up in the conversation with Negan, back when we get to the present. Oh, did Simon screw the pooch? Yeah, I bet he did. He screwed the pooch, didn't he? That Simon, that fuckface, piece of shit. But he probably heard what Simon had done. Like, oh, you want to talk about not listening to things? He killed all those heapsters during All Out War, and they killed all the Oceanside, which I heard about later, basically. Or not all of Oceanside, all the men at Oceanside, and you let that slide, but you tried to go after me. But it's okay. That's okay. I have another one. I have another ear. That's fine. We could be friends. Anyway.
Apparently, those websites are illegal, so
you're just paying
for not
yeah.
sponsoring those websites.
So now I got to go edit this out. No, I can't. It's live. Can't do it.
It's live, so
Deal with the consequences.
Could you tell what was on the posters in the cells?
No, but I know one of them was a marathon, an NYC marathon poster.
Right, marathon was one, and there was a train on the other one, but I couldn't get a clear enough shot and zoom in close enough to see what they said.
Well,
the only thing I got was the fight that the ring was set up for was a UFC match. It was Hugo versus Gonzalez.
oh,
That was on a huge poster that was like in the background as some guys were coming up the staircase.
that's cool.
But I couldn't make out their first names. But
I think the one that said marathon, it looked like it said like Steamboat Marathon, but I'm not exactly sure what that would be. But that was what it looked like it said.
Yeah, we also have to keep in mind that I think this portion of Penn Station with this is like a New Yorker thing, but the cells are basically the teller cells for the Long Island Railroad. So I just thought it was kind of a little tongue-in-cheek because they are kind of in their cells for the day, dealing with people all day, coming in and going out to Long Island. It's just a New York thing. I don't know. Thomas says one of the posters was an ad for Zip. See, I'm onto something. An ad for Zippos. Also cigarettes.
Kidding.
it wasn't.
Yeah, I know he's kidding. I know he's kidding, Rachel. I know he's kidding.
You said it so seriously.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like,
Thank you so much. I'm really good at my job. Negan! Anyway, I don't think there's anything left here. I think we've covered everything. I mean, one more thing that I can bring up is one of the things that he says when he finally sees Negan from the corner of his eye in the garage. He says, "Moi si," and I didn't think this was something. It's not really that important, but he says, "Moi si," and he says basically, "You are mine. You're mine." It's if you know Croatian, it's like, it's not like you're mine as in, I'm gonna get you, sucker. I think it's more like, I got you. I'm gonna get you, you little rascal. It's like, so it's kind of, I just love this delivery. I love this little childlike wonder that is, it's just adorable. Jelko Ivanek is adorable, essentially. And we've seen him in so many goddamn different things. He's so many different levels of scary as an actor. That's
why I told you he's the ultimate that guy.
That guy. Yeah, that guy. Thomas says they're still in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. But they were in Penn Station, that one part where the cells were. Or could it be the ticket-taking state? No, it's not.
I thought it was the ticket takers.
I don't think so.
But
no, MSG, those ticket taking, the way I know it is because before, when they reach the end of that tunnel with the walkers, Maggie looks on the wall and it says 34th Street, Penn Station, and the LIRR. So they have to go through Penn Station to get to what is purportedly MSG. So I do think it's the LIRR ticket takers.
Yeah, there's some conversations happening. It was filmed at Meadowlands in New Jersey,
Right.
but it is meant to be
Madison
Square Garden.
Right.
Right.
AKA MSG. That's what I was trying to say before. Not monosodium glutamate.
And the
Nobody's
scene
confused
when
by
they
this.
were when they came out of the building and went straight down into the subway, that was actually Newark, New Jersey. Just wanted to point that out.
Which also has a Penn Station, too. Which is kind of
Yes.
funny. Oh, and Thomas says, I worked with Željko Ivanek, he says the Croat on Oz. What did you do there? Just so you know, they never filmed in Penn Station. Thomas, well, I know, but it's supposed to be Penn Station. So when you watch it, you're supposed to think, okay, they have to go through Penn Station to get to the Meadowlands. Wow, I said it now. The Madison Square Garden. He is supposed to be worse than Negan at his worst, and he's not pulling that off. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he's doing his best, everybody. Shawnee's doing his best. Why can't you give him the credit he deserves?
I'm not sure he's supposed to be scarier than Negan. I think he's more supposed to just be crazier than Negan and like willing to do worse things than Negan, if that makes sense.
I think that makes complete sense. Kind of like, who was saying that before? Like, you don't know, I think it was Bridget. You don't know what he's going to do next because he has this kind of almost playful like exterior. He does this with the Marshal too in the last episode. It's like, oh, civilized. Oh, here's food. Then he gets dramatic with the maggot.
The maggot. It's just.
So did Lalo.
Oh God, Thomas. Sorry. Wow, even I did it. Thomas says I was a fluffer. God damn it. Damn it. God damn it, Thomas.
Okay. Show's over, folks.
Yeah.
Bye. Have a good night, everybody.
Moi si, Thomas. Moi si. You're mine. I got you. Anyway, I don't know what do we leave off with? I mean, like I said, I can't believe
I
have this little
want to
notes.
give one last shout out to the cinematography. At the very, very end, when Maggie is going down into the cellar, and it just fades to black, and you can just hear it's silent except for their footsteps, and it just fades to black as they sink into the darkness. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
One more thing about that, not about that specifically, but like about on the note of pyrotechnics and visual effects, the lighting in the stadium and going through down the list of different effects on the console, that was pretty cool. But do you remember when I said that the Proplakache Zora song that initially plays in the last episode is like more choir-esque, right? And I said, oh, there's a version of it where it's kind of like upbeat and up-tempo, and it's like this late 60s, early 70s.
The way you made it sound like it was a club remix.
No,
Dave.
I was trying to tell you that it wasn't like that. It wasn't like disco. It was like that kind of like, like that game show host type kind of like song, right? Like it's an intro to a game show, like choose that door or something, or the Family Feud. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, but they played that version in this episode with the lights going. I can't sing the song. I don't know. It was very upbeat and up tempo. It was perfect. So now you got to hear it too. Yeah. Okay. See, Eliza said it best. It's like polka, almost like polka, as most songs were in that era, era of music.
That's the word you're searching for.
Yeah.
Polka.
Was okay. I like Shauna's question. Maybe this is the last one before we go. She says, "Was throwing Negan off the railing?" I think she meant
Armstrong.
Marshall Armstrong. Was throwing Armstrong off the railing supposed to be a test, or do you think he was surprised that Negan helped him? I'd like to hear from you guys first, though.
I think he was surprised because then he had shot him in the leg.
What are you
He's like, what are you
doing?
doing?
What are you
Why are you
doing?
helping him?
Shoot him in
Negan!
the leg. Like, what was the purpose of that?
He was probably aiming for his head.
To
And
make
shot him in the
What
leg.
is
make-
this?
Very critical
make
over
the-
these weapons.
to see how far it would take to make Negan abandon him.
Okay, thank you for
Abandon
that
who?
clarity. Because it just seemed really weird.
Abandon the Croat, you mean?
No.
Okay,
Abandoned
the marshal.
Pearly.
Armstrong.
Like, if he was injured, would he let him fall?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Or if
interesting.
he slows him down enough, will he leave him behind? Because if he's got a big chunk ripped out of his leg, he's not going to be moving really fast.
Yeah, and also it's important to note that when he was pulling Pearly up, and he was complaining about his hand earlier on in the episode, just holding the weapon, and so of course he has to pull Pearly up with his left hand, and he's tearing open whatever has been trying to heal for the last 24 hours or something. So he went through a lot of shit to try to get Pearly up. So it's kind of interesting to note.
Just to be clear, I do think these weapons are awesome.
Yeah.
Do you though?
Yeah. Eliza,
Yes,
you can
I
have
do.
one.
Who's
You
probably
can have
for
one.
that.
You just go to a hardware store. It's just
A toilet sink
Yeah.
with a
Yes.
pneumatic.
I mean,
no.
they
I
are
think they're cool
very-
too. I think
very
it's really
creative.
innovative.
Yes. They're very
But then you have to
creative,
do this thing. You gotta
but
reel it
also
back in.
Very easy to make fun of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it's powered, right? You have to like crank it as you crank the wire back in. It powers up the. All right. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Whatever of it I have left to edit later on, who knows? It'll be 30 minutes. I
Good
think.
luck.
Yeah. Thanks. If you like what you heard, remember to head over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. 5 stars and an eggplant is all we need to know that you love us. But tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us what we missed. And we might have missed a couple things. But remember to tell us after every episode. Now, if you've already rated us on Apple Podcasts and you can't rate us anymore, there are a couple of other options to choose from. I like Podchaser because you can rate as much as you want and we can respond to you in kind. You can say, hey, you missed this. And I can say, no, he didn't. And then we say, F you, Thomas. Stop rating us and telling us bad things about Zippo lighters and stuff. I regret every instance of me mentioning
This
that.
has really gone off the rails.
Yeah. But again, ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. And if you really like what we're doing, head over to either Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead and follow us for free. That's the only place we post our recording schedules. Joining these recording sessions, usually when we're recording behind this, well, not behind any paywall, it's free to join the recording sessions, but the only place we post our recording schedules are on Ko-fi and Patreon. And if you feel like you're enjoying what you're watching or listening to, think about tipping us during the stream, and your message will show up on the stream forever. And while you're doing that, you'll get 30 days of supported back content to our unedited episode recordings and a whole host of other things. And if you really like what we're doing, like really, really like what we're doing, you can join a membership tier for as little as $1 a month and get Discord access. So you can chat with us behind the scenes like Takira was all week about Silo, which I've really been enjoying. And I finally finished it, and you gals are really, really into it as well. I really, really enjoy that you are.
So good.
So we're talking about a lot of things behind the scenes. So think about just $1 a month. And by the way, if you happen to be in the upper tiers, like the Whisperers, see, I remember it now, the Whisperers and Survivors tier members, like Takira is, you can get shout outs at the end of this episode. Among them are our Survivors tier members, one of which is on stream right now. It's Takira. That's ko-fi.com/Connie Dixon for life. That's Connie Dixon, the number 4, LYFE. We've got Elisa Jones 71 on Instagram and at Jones AG6 on Twitter, aka Relishing the Dead on YouTube and Facebook, both a group and a page, who's in the chat right now. We got at Real Ryan GM on Twitter. We've got also Fanart Lindy, ko-fi.com/Fanart Lindy, who also in her own way appeared in this episode by way of gifting, well, sort of Elisa getting her drawing of June and giving it to Sharon D, aka Blazy Gardner. And
Stay on track, Dave.
yeah, well, I'm trying, man. I'm giving everybody their due. And of course, let's go to our Whispers tier members. Among them are, as soon as I pull them up, because I don't want to miss anybody like I almost did the other time. And they are basically, I'm so sorry, everybody. It's at Judith.Morn on Instagram. Aiden Atkin, who is ko-fi.com/Aiden Atkin. At Tyler Phillip Cox on both Instagram and Twitter. Sandy.D.Morrison on Facebook. Holla. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. I've been your host, David Cameo. I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Bird, Sharon D, a.k.a. Blazy Gardner, Bridget, ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. And let's say it again. To Kira, ko-fi.com/Connie Dixon for life. That's Connie Dixon, the number 4 LYFE. And Bridget, say the things again.
Hi, everybody. I have a mediocre YouTube channel in which I'm doing a giveaway. So you should go there and subscribe and watch my most recent video, which is an unboxing of the newest supply drop. And I'm giving away this 3 free months of AMC Plus to one lucky baby who has subscribed, commented on the video, and liked the video. There are only like 5 entries right now, so you have a pretty decent chance of winning this. And I will do a live drawing on Friday.
Yeah.
So you have until then.
Friday's the last day.
The
babies.
14th. Friday, July 14th.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining us on this episode in the chat. Eliza, Thomas, Shauna. Oh, man, Heather. Well, you know what? You know
Mitchell, Emily,
Mitchell. Yes, that's right. Emily.
Eliza.
I said Eliza, I think. Oh, I said she was.
Well,
in the
say it again.
Now, you know what? I'm done. Holly330, thank you on Instagram. Seth LaRusso, Elastic Glam Radio, officially now.
You know, my favorite part of this was
It
was that
I have a
Sharon and I never got to give our first impressions because you just moved on. So. It's my favorite part. I didn't have a first impression.
That was your first impression.
That was mine, but I don't know what Sharon says. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. We love you. And there's no first impressions for Bridget and Charity. Bye. And me. I didn't give a first impression either. So you can go off yourselves. Good night, everybody. I love you.
Sit on it, Dave.